we've got on Doncaster East at half time is the fact that they're 6-12 when they probably should have been about 9-8 or something, I would thought.
Look, yeah, I mean, I think the most disappointing... Obviously, footy is a momentum game, so once you do have momentum, you want to use it and you want to be able to kick scores. And they just weren't able to do that, Doncaster East. They should have been well in front into that second quarter. So I think in the start of this third quarter, it's going to be just hitting the scoreboard because they really should be... This game could be iced right now if they had a kick straight when they had the chances.
I think, though, that I think probably the thing that would worry most Doncaster people is if Doncaster East came out and probably kicked the opening 2 goals very, very quickly, that might just set Doncaster back a little bit because I think they're a little bit worried about their fitness levels around the ground. I think it's been quite evident at certain stages as well.
And that's been the difference, Gav, a lot. The speed from Doncaster East when they've got the ball, the way they move it compared to Doncaster have been a bit slower. Yeah, and they've got an ascendancy. Rowe knows the ball's coming to him. Heath at half forward, pushing up to the ground as well, into the contest, being one of the best. Lock is being impressive. Shalakis is always around. DeLuca, if he can put the ball to his boot, has been playing okay.
Yeah, of course, not many AFL players miss the boot, but I guess it looks like DeLuca's actually... Is he rucking or is he just outside the circle? But back in the middle we go, Gav?
So it's again Ollie going forward with the tap. So that was well done, but Doncaster East do run onto it in the hands of Carlson, who's a strong player as they kick to the pavilion end this time. Doncaster got a bit of a mid-second term run on to close the gap to within 9 points. But since then, Donny East just steadied the ship in terms of the scoreboard, kicked out with 2 late goals. Nearly had a very late one, but Magana stood up. Again, Appleby great around the contest. Then a nice little spoon volley, a ball style by Doncaster East player, but it didn't work because the ball was smothered down nicely by Giacob. And it's again Spencer against Ollie. Spencer uses his height, weight advantage to knock it down, but there's numbers around the contest for the Lions. Quick kick out there by Green. High up and under is bouncing 2 different directions, so it might come back towards Green. Spears the hand pass off to running Appleby through centre forward. Shalakis running back towards goal. Got 2 to beat. Ground level it goes after the punch, and Shalakis can't get onto it.
That's a couple of times. Spoke about holding their width in the second quarter. Doncaster don't do it. A couple of times they had 3-on-1, but the Doncaster East player gets a handball at the top and they're out. And same thing there. The slap back into the corridor from the Doncaster defender, and Appleby just had all that space in the corridor gap.
Again, Rogo Spencer just spins him around in the contest, gets onto the ball, and he's able to share it out. So Doncaster go from the width of the ground too wide as it hits the fence. The clearing kick to the running teammate has gone too wide, and it nearly hit Brett Beston on the head. And we'll go for some comment there. Brett?
Boys, just a word from the Doncaster East camp. They were just a little bit concerned about the little period they had just before half-time when they just let things go a little bit. Of course, a couple of quick goals for Doncaster, and they just want to basically keep the focus, keep things going. Relatively happy with the game, but it was just a question of that little lapse they had before half-time, so they just want the concentration to be kept up. Steve White was over at the Doncaster huddle.
No, I wasn't.
So Saravolo got the short ball into Scala.
Okay, he wasn't.
Besto's in the room. That's how close he's going on the boundary line. Lovely stuff. After having a couple of party pies as well, he just wandered his way through.
I can make up the Doncaster half-time message.
It's roaming Brett.
Exactly. So Daniel Scala, who took the mark from the Saravolo inboard. So he's been around it. 1 goal, 3 today. So had plenty of it and plenty of opportunities. Been impressive. He'll kick from just outside the arc. Don't know if he's got the journey. Good-looking kick off the boot. Wow. Oh, it made me look like a fool. To quote Brad Henderson, bang, straight through the middle. Scalia gets his second. And Doncaster East jump out 7-12-54. Doncaster 4-2-26. 2.5 minutes gone in this third term, and it looks like the second half is going to carry on much like the first, gents.
Well, that's exactly what Doncaster East want. They wanted to come out after half-time and put a little bit more scoreboard pressure on Doncaster to see if they can crack. The opening 5 minutes of this third quarter is probably going to decide the game here, because if Doncaster are going to get back into the contest, they need to make their mark now.
Well, you just worry in the next 5 minutes, if they do allow a couple more goals, this could really blow out.
Ollie got that big jump that Ryan James was talking about, but ended up in the hands of Giacobi, and then he might be going upon the ball because he got out of the tackle, stopped, and he was just amazed that he got out of it. Gavin forgot that there might be someone else coming for him, and DeLuca will get the free kick. Been impressive, DeLuca. You can see that talent and potential that got him all the way to the top. as he goes inside forward 50, and I reckon he's still got a bit more hiding up there somewhere. Long ball, what at the back, almost onto the chest of Lock. He dropped the mark, and now the Sharks can come away. But Nick Coman.
Great tackle.
Nick Coman. What is he doing there? Haswell, it looks like it might have wrapped him up. Or is it Scala again?
No,
it's Jimmy Appleby, sorry. Third time's the charm. But Nick Coman, I'm just so transfixed. He's just running away. Didn't see him out the side of his eye there. And wrapped up 30 metres out directly in front just when they were out.
These are the things that coaches, they love these. They love this sort of work from their captains, leading from the front, tackling hard, winning free kicks, and now obviously
kicking for goal, Brash, as Appleby comes in 30 metres out directly in front. That one's dead straight. It's got the Bruce thumbs up of approval, Gav. Doncaster East 8-12-60 jump out to a 34-point lead. This feels like more of the margin that they deserve. 4 minutes gone, third term.
Yeah, it's starting to look that way, Matt. And the thing is, the thing that Doncaster East have gone back to is in the ruck, where if they're not winning it, all of a sudden they're laying those heavy tackles that are winning them the free kicks to give them that opportunity to get the ball forward again.
I think Appleby's probably been their most damaging midfielder too. Obviously what he's been able to do getting the ball, but also his defensive pressure, you saw just then.
Spencer just went the punch, got it to centre forward. Vickers drops it in the harassment of the tackle, so it flies out towards Ollie, who gives it to Ryan. Ryan's running through the middle as Ollie's been fouled. And is that a send-off potential? As here comes the card. It was so behind the ball. Ollie had already given a hand pass off, and Carlson being the... we won't go...
He's definitely the I think he's the player of attention. That was definitely Carlson. I don't know whether they've carded, though.
Well, he reached to the back pockets. I'm not sure why he didn't, because...
Maybe he's just fixing his britches, Gavin.
Oh, fair enough. He's well tucked in now, is the umpire, as it's now in the hands of Simon White, and he goes short to the man who was fouled. And yes, he's still going okay, Ollie, as the kick was not an up, it was an up and under that missed the target. So Doncaster might be able to share it their way out of defence, going wide towards Jamo and Hendon. Hendon's got it in his grasp, but he spills it under a heap of pressure, so his hand pass to where he thought Coughlin was didn't suit him. Simon White runs onto it on the wing, kicks it long and inside to the 50. Scala's going to run onto it, but he's getting harassed by Hoverton, and Scala picks up the ball and he jumps the fence. He didn't mean to, he just did.
I think he got a little shove if we watch the replay from Hoverton.
Boundary.
As we go down boundary side to Steve up. Hoivert, here we go.
Yeah.
Hey, down to you, Steve.
Sorry, no, Carlson looks like he's been dragged after that. Elbow was pretty much above shoulder height, I'd say.
So a club-regulated yellow card there for Carlson as we throw it in. Defensive 50 for Doncaster. Spencer got the hit out. Hoiverden, who pushed Scala over the fence and got away with it, gets the kick down the line. Simon White's underneath it. Well done by Hendon. Sport it back into the corridor, and it might work out for the Sharks. Gordon has to sit and wait for it. It beat him on the bounce, and here comes Vickers. Can he pick it up? He's speedy. Well done, Mitchell Ryan. Came across. If he takes it over the line, he'll take that. I think he's kept it in, though. Umpire might ping him, and she has. So Mitchell Ryan, he had to take it over. That's inexperience.
Yeah, inexperience right there.
So Vickers did well in the end. He's ditched the long sleeves today, such is the weather. He's about 60 from home. He's going to go low to the pocket, looking for Van der Haar out the back. And coming across, Tom Gordon takes the intercept mark and plays on immediately, but it'll be 50 metres or 25 because Hendon didn't come back to the regulation top of the goal square for standing the mark.
He was lucky there, Tommy Gordon. He took that a little bit too easy.
But he knew there shouldn't have been a defender to smother the ball off his kick, so that's fair enough. And the umpire due diligence was right. Short kick is into an open corridor where Ryan's going, did I just take a chest mark with no one around me, about 10 metres space? Yes, I did, as he kicks it long to DeLuca. Now the bouncing ball falls the way of the running player in Stoneham. Stoneham dribbles his kick into the forward line, doesn't suit the forward. Scala gets on the end of it as it rushed to him, and he's tackled as he tries to hand pass, so it is a throw because he can't get a proper fist. Stoneham, a dribbler on the left as Scala led up to it. Then he's been tackled nicely by Coman. And Coman got the free kick for throw against, but we're disputing that in the call, are we?
Yeah, absolutely. I thought he was a bit stiff. I've seen them paid. He got rid of it, but that might be in the big leagues. As Jack Marnes got the mark, centre half back. Got it from Rambaldi. So he's going to go out in the Spencer direction. They're just kicking it. He's done well to bring it to ground, but Doncaster East know that plan is Coughlin. Been really impressive for the Sharks despite that dodgy left ankle. Goes down the line. Van der Haar was giving away a lot of time and space to Haswell. And his nice little chipping ball finds Ollie. So their ball movement's just so much more creative as the Lions. As he goes out wide, looking for the runner in Simon White. You can almost have the journey from here. He's about 55 from home. He's got Rowe in the goal square. He's got a lead in lock. Ignores him.
I think he'll take it.
I think he's doing. He might not have the leg anymore as he goes short inboard. Vickers was pressing, but it gets its way to Jackson Green.
He was doing a bit of rave dancing with his finger movements there.
That's how I dance. Keep it simple. So Jackson Green's about 60 from home.
Centre of the square, mate.
Shalakis was the other lead, but he goes to row, and once again, that's too easy. Doncaster East, for about the 19th time today, have led to about 30 metres out and taken an uncontested mark.
Not once has a Doncaster defender got in front of him. Then that
you sounded exhausted when you said that.
I was going to say he's just woken up.
It's odd that they haven't made any sort of changes.
Yeah,
3 quarters in.
And I think Mark Jamo's trying to instruct people, but he's all the way down here at full forward. So Sam Rowe, he's kicked just the one today, lining up for his second from just inside the arc. Slide angle, good connection off the boot. He loves it.
That is gun.
They've got their kicking boots on in the second half, Gav. 9-12-66, 40-point leaders over Doncaster 4-2-26.
So after comments now, we'll get the
round the ground scores.
Round the grounds with a Premier Division score here, and it's halftime. Rowville versus North Ringwood, 9-9-63 to North Ringwood, 4-5-29. And if we're looking for a closer game, look no further than the second division matchup between East Burwood and Mulgrave, 8-5-53 to 7-7-49. East Burwood up by 4 in that one.
See if you can find a Norwood Vermont score.
Why do you care?
I do.
Because he heard it was 40 points at quarter time, Gav.
It's just come up for me, Brash. So it's Vermont 6-5-41 to Norwood 8-6-54. So Vermont very much fighting back in that one.
Yeah, very interesting.
No, it was 40 points to 2 at one stage.
Mm-hmm.
And this game is a bit of a blowout now, but Anarka's hoping to get out of the middle. He's tackled as he tries to beat one. No holding the ball decision. Locke couldn't kick it off the ground, so the bounce of the ball suits the Sharks. Out wide they go, where the leading option was Santoro for Donny East. He runs on it at half back. He kicks a long ball down the left flank, and he goes from all the way from the defence to the forward line, but the boundary line is too narrow for him, and it's out of bounds.
Ryan, I've got to say, Doncaster's disposal throughout the afternoon has been poor.
It's been poor, and Doncaster East defenders have been able to run off their men quite easily, as you just saw there. There just hasn't been any accountability on either end, really.
No. 68 turnovers last week, the Sharks, and they'll be pushing that number again this week because there's a free kick in the ruck contest. I never understand these. Never even when umpire gabbled in, and Mark Jamar's got the free. He probably should get 25. Because
when did you umpire? I can't remember.
I umpired senior footy in about 2016, 2017, but Jamar gives the handball off now. He should have got 25 because James Locke missed him by about 15 metres with the handball back. But they go down the line. Mincini's been swung forward. DeLuca with nice hops, hovered above the pack and started a handball chain that's ended up with Santoro. He goes inside forward 50. Who's the target down there? It looks like Phelan. It'll get out back to Scala. Little right foot snap is a goal. It's a procession now. That's a Tobin Brothers goal of the day contender. The Lions 10-12-72 lead Doncaster 4-2-26. He's got 2 in the quarter and 3 for the game. On the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, Wayne Brasher, Ryan Long.
He's been very impressive today, Scala. It's some of the younger brigade of Doncaster East have led the team this afternoon. We expect Rowe and Phelan, but some of these young guys, Ryan, have really stepped up.
Yeah, and that's probably the difference with the last time we saw him play, where Rowe was the focal figure and that was it. But now they've got so many other options. Obviously, Scala there. Phelan's been good too up forward, so they're not going to rely on anyone this year. They've got plenty of options, and that makes them a lot more dangerous side going forward when they play some higher quality opposition.
Again, Donny have got some advantage in the ruck. Jamar can't jump, but he did have a big body to get around. He won the tap, but it's straight down into the centre circle again, and we'll have a secondary ball up.
Gav, that tackling pressure of James Appleby is ferocious in the midfield.
And there's going to be a free kick in the ruck contest because Jamar was said to be shepherd out row. The bigger boy shepherding out. Interesting call, but it will be going the way of Donny East. Long kick to half forward, drop ball by Smith, gets Doncaster into trouble, but they might be able to run it out. Short pass hits up Coughlin in defence, and he's been steady. And we thought he was done for the day when he had that ankle immobilised in the early in the second term.
Amazing what a bit of jungle juice can do for your ankle.
He's probably been their best player too, Gab.
I'll have a little bit of that later. And as we go wider from right to left flank, they might run themselves into trouble, Donny, and they do. Tweedy just was like, what do I do next? I run, and then I get my hand pass smothered. So it's out of bounds.
That is just symptomatic of Doncaster's day, really. Their disposal to their to their own kind. It's just killed them.
Yeah, turnovers once again, and I think if you look the other way, Doncaster's ball movement, they're just cutting them apart.
But is it like Doncaster don't have the second option making room for the kicker or hand passer?
Like you're saying, there's no movement, isn't there? Like there's no one running past. There's no real flow or wave to their movement, isn't it?
And now all of a sudden they're just giving away silly free kicks here, Doncaster. They're really getting frustrated.
Well, Jamar's taller than Rowe. Rowe got under his shoulder height by slipping, and then the fend off to know where he was. Jamar's given over the shoulder, so you can see why he's frustrated. Then the push off comes in, and a 25-metre advances Rowe to within kicking distance.
Well, that's the thing. Giving away the free kicks one, but then causing a 25-metre penalty is another thing.
So Rowe, he's got his kicking boots on in this second half, as do the Lions. They've been very accurate this one. Coming in for his second of the quarter, third of the day. It looked good off the boot, but I think it's gone way left. Beautiful kick that'll go down the hill onto the second ground, and we'll have a bit of respite. It's the Lions 10-13-73, leading Doncaster 4-2-26 as we go to the score centre with Jared Beaton.
A couple of Division 1 scores here. It looks like Upper Ferntree Gully putting up a good fight against Wantirna South, 6-1-37 to the Devils, 7-2-44, and Croydon keeping pace with East Ringwood, 4-4-28 to the Roos, 5-3-33.
Ball comes in from the Sharks. Nice kick out wide. So they've found a target out here in Rambaldi. Now Rambaldi is going to go down the line. This is where it's falling down. Van Haar made a contest, so it's going to work out in the end for the Sharks, but I don't know if it's something you repeat as Van Haar gets a second handball to Vickers. Jamar's in the goal square by himself. If you can get it to him, good kick. Jamar a mark, and he wanted to play on, but Gav, that lack of speed was in the back of his head, and he thought, I'll go back and have a set shot.
It's probably their best piece of play for the day.
And I still don't think you can repeat it because it relied on Van Haar winning a 1v2. You can't rely on that, and whereas Doncaster East is a very repeatable process, whereas Doncaster, like I've said, they're relying on a knock-on, and look, they've got talented players, as Vickers showed there. As Jamar comes in, he shouldn't miss from directly in front. He's made the goal umpire work, but I
reckon he's missed it.
I think some AFL experience has made that one straighten up, Brash, somehow. So Mark Jamar's got his second. Doncaster 5-2-32.
You kick it high, the posts aren't high enough for him to doubt it.
That's experience, isn't it, Gav? Can't buy it. Jamar's got his second.
A couple of Division 2 scores here. South Belgrave fighting back against Templestowe. You wouldn't expect to say that at the start of the day. Templestowe 5-3-33 to South Belgrave 3-4-22. And it's a tug of war at Batterham Reserve with the Basin 6-8-44 against Baronia 6-5-41.
Yeah, some good games going on around the eastern suburbs, Gav. Unfortunately, this one, it's 41 points, but that's Doncaster have found their kicking boots, fortunately, for them in the second half, and that's what's blown it out.
Well, all that run-on play and open possession going forward is going to turn into a better look at goal, and eventually it was going to come that there would be shots going through the middle of the goals. The first 7 shots being minor scores makes the scoreboard look slightly ugly early, but again they get out of a contest in the middle, and it's DeLuca again. Long ball, loads up, kick drops into the hot spot where Phelan was running with the flight, and his defender was coming the other way, and I think that was McGarnis putting on pressure, and he did well just to intervene and then hold it up in a tackle.
Yeah, Phelan got up off the ground there. He looked a bit proppy.
So Ruck Spencer Rowe did some good body work this time, tapped it towards where there was a heap of players, but this is a representative of the Lions. 2 tacklers on Smith there as he hands the ball over. That's the intensity around the contest for the Lions. Rowe again using good body position. Spencer might be tiring as this third quarter goes on. The ball drifts to the pocket. Beth get picked up, throws to the goal line. It might be the holding a ball against the player on the ground, but he's been tackled too ferociously, and I think Heath's going to pick himself up with a free kick.
Yeah, or he should just stop the play because he looks like he's just been flattened here.
Yeah, it's the late bump as he lost it in the tackle. Heath was still wandering his way towards the goal line, almost trying to do a rugby try, but then he gets hit with a bump that he didn't see coming. So it's going to be a free kick to Heath, and Heath will line up for his second goal. And it's just, if you've got the ball and you're the man making the play, you deserve a free kick.
Yep, exactly right. If you're making the play, then you deserve the rewards.
So Heath from 10 metres out, doesn't miss, and the scoreboard's looking very pretty now for Doncaster East. 18 minutes gone third term, Doncaster East 11-13-79. They lead Doncaster 5-2-32. Big margin on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Definitely deserved another one. He worked really hard, especially in that first half and that first quarter when Doncaster East was starting to get the ball out of the middle, and he was a target up on that half-forward flank, and it's good to see him start actually capitalise on that and kick a couple of goals on the board.
He's been one of the front runners for the player of the day, brought to you by Eastland, of course, Brush. But even in that first quarter, he got a lot of the footy. Like, he had a lot of shots, but was also getting the footy around the ground as well. So he's another one. They've got some powerful midfielders too. Like you said, Appleby's tackling pressure is great, Brash, but DeLuca's quite tall. You know, if you walk past him in the street, you wouldn't think, oh, there's a midfielder. Phelan can obviously play through the middle, and then someone like Heath's done a little bit of work around the ground in the midfield. So they're strong and tall around the ground. And I can see what Ryan James is trying to do as they go up in the middle again. Spencer and Ollie, there's a free kick, and it's going the way of Doncaster. So the free kick's going to Hendon. There was a bit of confusion initially. Hendon wants a free kick, gave the handball off to Marn. Long ball inside forward 50. Vanderhaar, Spencer, and Narcus, they're all down there. Ball gets to the back. Big mark, J-Mar. Couldn't quite get there. Tried to put the afterburners on. Couldn't do so, and we'll have a ball in 25 metres out from the Doncaster goal.
You'd almost think, Matt, that one of those, DeLuca or Hendon, were going to get that free kick, because there was both Niggle in that centre there. Either one was going to get that free kick. The umpire was determined. So
Spencer missed the ball, and then he went back and got it. Now he wants a piece of Jackson Green. He looks angry, Jake Spencer, and he's worked so hard, and obviously his teammates haven't come with him. 47-point differential at the moment. Ollie worked past him, did really well, hit out. Milford Robertson was there to gather it, and we'll have another stoppage. And it'll just be interesting to see how the setup looks around this stoppage, Ryan, to see if Doncaster can get some width, because it looks just so close to Spencer. As he wins another hit out, and Appleby came through, took on the tackler, and Arcus might want a free kick. Umpire says ball up.
And all he has to do is just make a contest, and because Doncaster East, the midfielders around the ball are just rucking to Spencer when he gets it.
So Spencer took it out of the ruck there, little dribble kick, will make its way towards J-Mar, and then Vanderhaar came around it as well, ends up with the footy. Tried to get a free kick for high, but the umpire says you ducked your head, so give it to me. So ball up directly in front of the Sharks' goal. They trail by 47 points as we tick into time on in this third term. Gordon took on a couple of tacklers, and we'll have a repeat stoppage. But once again, I'm just looking at this like there's no width from Doncaster. There's no room for them to create a running path as the ball hits the deck. Gordon, tackled by a Narcus, and we'll have another stoppage.
It's almost like, Matt, their first instinct is contested possession. Let's block it up.
But they're not making any paths. Marn tries to bullock his way through, and Narcus will want a free kick for holding the ball. Nothing doing. Green clears his lines, and it'll bounce just inside the field of play and go over. Is the umpire going to give deliberate? No, give a ball in. I just think they're like someone like Vickers is the danger player. He's quick, he's crafty, but no one's working to help him run through. It's just Spencer taps it down, someone grabs it, gets tackled, and eventually, as Ryan's saying, the Donny East midfield win out and get a clearance. So we'll go again. This time just outside the Sharks, forward 50. Marn will get the ball inside forward 50 though. Ryan, will he take the mark? He will. Umpire says it went far enough. So Mitchell Ryan with the headband. One of the youngsters in this line side immediately switches it to Whitling. Half back flank, and the runner is on. He gives it over the top to Haswell. Another recruit who's been impressive. Nicely weighted kick out in front of Sam Rose. Worked up the ground to take this mark. He'll pop it over the top to Shalakis. Malloy will be there to make him work for it. Shalakis does well. Got rid of him. Got the handball over the top. Appleby stood up in the tackle. Got his handball towards Whitling. He let it go through to Green. He dropped the footy, and umpire says holding the ball. And the Sharks will get some respite on right half back. And they don't want to give away a reversal. I think they have, though. There's a reversal, and this is just bad to worse for Doncaster Sharks here. It seems like every time they get a free kick, they do something to either turn it over or give a reversal. And now, after all of that, I think Jackson Green's going to have a shot from just outside 50.
Just another thing, the lead up to that play, what would be so disappointing if I was at Doncaster is that Haswell had about 20-30 metres to run into that, and no one went with him.
And he's been playing fullback back pocket. Yeah. He worked for 50 metres to get that handball.
And I think there's a lot to say about the effort comparing the two sides.
So Green, to really maybe start the party for Doncaster East. This will put it well beyond doubt, you would have thought. He's got really close to the man on the mark, runs to just outside the arc, made good connection, but it's across the face. And through for one behind. Doncaster East 11-14-80. Lead Doncaster 5-2-32 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 22.5 minutes gone. Third quarter, Eastland match of the day here in the Eastern Football Netball League.
It's in the hands of Rambaldi at fullback as he looks at all options. This time he's gone left to Marn on the lead, and Marn takes a nice easy mark, 40 metres out from his goal, short to Hendon. So they're keeping it in hand nicely, Doncaster. A bit of tempo footy, but the umpire's rushed them because he says play on. So they'll have to spread it out of defence. Thiel gets a hand pass off. They're trying to run it out of defence. The Sharks, they haven't had much success in that today. Anaka's good experience. He pushed off his opponent Santoro, takes the mark in the secondary position. His kick was rushed at the back. Jamo eventually gets to the contest. Gordon dropped it about 3 times before he saw some pressure, but eventually Jamo did some good body work and the Rovers come in to cause a ball up.
It's the only way you sort of see Jamo kicking goal is when he's back here by himself, because
when they're moving it quick, it works, doesn't it, Ryan? Like, they haven't been moving it quick.
Spencer Nearly, the Rover that kicks the goal from the rock contest. He took it on the run. He came late to the contest and he ran around the pack, but eventually he was like, well, where do I go next? And as he tried to put the ball in the boot, it was smothered.
But they handballed their way through the corridor, and yes, it was under pressure, but at least there was some pace, so the Doncaster Lions couldn't, the Doncaster East Lions couldn't set up behind the ball. And yes, that's how Jamo's going to kick goals, from being out the back.
Nicely done by Ryan. Tapped it away from his opponent, then runs onto it, hooks it around from the left boundary side into the corridor where Locke puts his body over the bouncing ball, and over the shoulder he gets a free kick. Reward for body work there. As running on, here goes Donny East, but late comes in Malloy just to be the spoiler, but it's on the bounce, and here go Donny East through Whitling. He's transfers his way through Doncaster, and he goes all the way backwards because he knows he's got Appleby at centre forward. You can have a shot from 50.
Put that shot down a goal to the piece of play there by young Mitch Ryan. Committed to the contest, got the ball, and set up. It wasn't a setup, but he worked hard for his team, Gav, to get that simple opportunity out of that back line.
So Appleby just knows when to defend and when to attack, and when he attacks he finds some room, and for the turn back pass to find him all on his own 50 metres out. It's close to the left post, it's bending. The goal umpire is going to come back to the middle of the goals and signal.
One behind.
He did you there, Gav. That's beautiful goal umpiring. He's absolutely
He didn't come back to the centre of it. And also, if I could get Malloy to move out of the way, I would have seen what was going on.
Always jeopardy. So Rambaldi will bring it back in for the Sharks out in the Spencer direction. Big fly from Rowe at the back. Spencer got his hands to it. Appleby, once again, Locke. Some ever-present names from today's contest. Handball over the top. They're just toying with them now. Appleby drove his head through there, and the umpire says, hi. I could have seen that maybe been giving Holden the ball because he lowered his head, but James Appleby, you can't question his effort today, and he'll have another shot from a pretty similar position to go back and make this margin almost 60 points.
Ryan James made him captain this year, James Appleby, and I think that the title actually is suiting him just fine because he has led from the front all afternoon. He's been sensational.
So Appleby will kick from, like we said, pretty similar spot to just before, where he just missed to the left, so he might just adjust his radar. Comes in just inside the paint, 45-degree angle. He started at left, and this one was even worse.
He's obsessed with that end.
Left. They're all obsessed with that left-hand side of that end. So it's 11-16-82. 50 points the margin. Doncaster 5-2-32. We're late into time on here in the third term on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard there out here at Shram Reserve. We've got to thank Doncaster Football Club, though. It's been quite the event they've put on for us. Of course, the ceremony at the start of the day, the lunch, was quite enjoyable. As they bring it back into play, Marn makes a contest. Other than his yellow card, he's probably been one of the Sharks' best, as it looked like it was that Jones Hughes riding the Doncaster player there, as we have a ball up. Up they go again. Spencer and Rowe. Rowe did well. Marn was around it, slipped through his fingers, and then Appleby got it to the top of the goal square. Scala was around it. He's loved a goal today. Kicked 3 of them. Here they go. Coleman into the corridor. Can the mark be taken? No, it can't, but the handball will come over the top from Barassi. Been pretty quiet. Got it back to Coleman. Wants his right boot. Wasn't Coleman, sorry. It was Thiel. Thiel got it back into the middle. Here we go. Oh, they had 4 Sharks in the middle, Gavin. He picked out the one line in lock.
Yeah, well, he'd lock him up for that mistake, I reckon, as the kick goes short to Mitchell Ryan. We try to work some humour into the call, and there's some humour, unfortunately, for Donny. He's missing the target. Hendon leaves it behind, so he's trying to get some help from Giacob. They're really mecking around, but they don't have anywhere to go, Doncaster. Now the up and under to half forward has 3v1, and of course Rowe's going to take the mark as the big... He does the shadow kick. He's about to kick it, goes, that's going to get smothered. I'll drop it, and then I'll pick up again, hand pass it off, and they're off and racing now. Donny East. They go go a different direction because of the late change from Sam Rowe, but the mark's been chopped off at centre half back, and it's a push in the back, would you believe?
Oh,
so Scala's going to take a free kick at 50 metres out, and we didn't see that coming.
Well, what a minute you had there, Gav. You had turnovers, witty puns, blokes forgetting to kick the ball again. There's AFL experience. Maybe we're missing a trick.
Well, maybe go behind your mark before you decide to kick it. But it's Scala with it. He's an impressive player. I'm a big fan of Shalakas, and he's just got a bit of Shalakas-esque play in him.
He's got 3-3 before this.
If he kicks his Scala, this will be the Tobin Brothers goal of the day, I reckon.
Well, the umpire paid a push in the back to him as he got underneath the marking contest. So from 50 metres out, he trots his way to the outer end of Shram's reserve. It's close to the right post. It misses, and it's another minor score. 3-quarter time here at Shram's reserve. Round 2, local derby. Doncaster 5-2-32, but they're trailing Doncaster East 11-17-83.
Today at Eastland, Lucy's trying on jeans for a momentous occasion. Coffee with the ex. She needs jeans she can move in, because she's definitely moved on. Jeans that get a second look, but don't give any second chances. Jeans that say, why yes, I have spent the last 8 months in a post-breakup juice cleansing, kickboxing, personal training frenzy. And it looks as though she's just found the perfect pair.
Yeah, that's great.
Bravo, Lucy. For all of life's little moments, there's Eastland. Eastland. Live real.
Sprained your ankle, bursting through the banner? Broke a finger, high-fiving the ruckman? Or did you run into the goal post again? For bumps, breaks or bleeds, be seen sooner, close to home at Knox Private 24/7 Emergency Department. The preferred provider of emergency care to the Eastern Football Netball League